So what happens when a rescue arc in anime goes wrong? Most rescue arcs end the way that you'd expect. The hero runs towards danger, the group comes together, obstacles rise and sacrifices are made. And just when it feels impossible, they break through. Their loved ones are saved, their bond is stronger, and the world feels just a little more right again. It's the blueprint, we've seen it in every corner of shonen. From NES Lobby to Soul Society, to rescuing Bakugo in My Hero Academia. It's comforting, familiar, and usually triumphant. We've been conditioned to believe that it'll always work out, that love, effort, and persistence will be enough, that if you care enough, if you fight hard enough, you'll reach them. But that's not always the case, because every now and then you get a rescue arc that doesn't end in a warm reunion, that doesn't reward the effort, loyalty, or love, one that just hurts. And I can think of two arcs that did that exceptionally well, and these two are the Sasuke Retrieval Arc in Naruto and the Marineford Arc in One Piece. Two very different stories with two very different failures, but both did something rare in anime. They let the hero give everything and still fall short. And because they broke the pattern we'd come to expect, they hit even harder. They reminded us that not every bond can be saved, and sometimes that truth is what makes the story unforgettable. And that's what I want to talk about, not just why they failed, but why those failures hit so hard, why they stuck with us, and what those arcs said about what it means to lose someone you tried to save. The Sasuke Retrieval Arc isn't just the climax of early Naruto, it's the moment where the story shatters the hope you've been holding on to. Sasuke isn't taken by force, he's not possessed, he chooses to leave. And that choice is what makes everything that follows feel so real. Because Naruto doesn't see Sasuke only as a rival, he sees him as family as well, as the only person who understands the kind of loneliness he's carried his whole life. So when Sasuke walks away, Naruto doesn't hesitate, he chases after him, not for the village, not for a mission, but because he can't let him go. And it's not just Naruto, a whole team is assembled to bring Sasuke back. Shikamaru, Choji, Neji, Kiba, and eventually Rock Lee. Every single one of them puts their life on the line, every one of them has a fight that pushes them to the edge. Choji finds self-worth, Neji defies his own fate, and Shikamaru learns what leadership costs. These aren't just side characters, they're emotional anchors in a mission that already feels doomed. So when all of that effort, every sacrifice, every near-death situation, and every small personal triumph leads to nothing, it hits like a dagger to the heart. As readers, we felt it too. We believed this mission would succeed because of how hard they fought to make it happen. Just like Shikamaru, who sits in silence, defeated, we're reminded that effort doesn't always equal reward. Because when Naruto finally catches up to Sasuke, it's not the reunion you hope for. It's not even a conversation, it's a fight. A violent, painful clash between two people who care about each other, but can't agree on what that means. Naruto wants to bring Sasuke back, but Sasuke wants to sever every tie that holds him down. And in the end, Naruto fails. And that's what made this arc unforgettable. Because in most shonen, love wins, effort wins, but in this arc, Naruto gives everything and still loses the one person he was trying to save. And that failure doesn't just hurt in the moment, it defines the rest of his journey. The longing, the guilt, the determination to never give up on Sasuke, it all starts here. Because this wasn't a battle against an enemy, it was a fight to hold on to someone who had already let go. And then we have One Piece. Marineford feels different from every other One Piece arc. It's not a quest, it's not an adventure, it feels like more of a countdown. Ace has been captured by the world government and the execution is scheduled, while Luffy is running against the clock. And from the moment Luffy finds out about this execution, everything else in his world stops. He breaks into Impel Down, he fights through an army, he survives a prison that no one escapes. All with one goal, to get to Ace. And somehow he makes it, just in time for the war to start. Marineford isn't just a rescue mission, it's a full-blown war arc. Admirals, warlords, the Whitebeard pirates, it's almost all the powers in the world clashing at once. But through all the chaos and all the explosions, Luffy keeps running. One step closer, one scream at a time. And it works. He gets to Ace, he saves him, the cuffs come off. They run together and the music swells, the escape is in reach. And we believed it would work, because One Piece has trained us to believe it always would. We were used to last-minute saves, impossible miracles, characters brushing off wounds that should have killed them. This wasn't a series where people died. So when Ace was free, we thought it was over, that this was the part where the story lets us breathe again, until Akainu struck. In one of the most shocking moments in anime, Ace turns back to fight just for a second, and in that second, second Akainu strikes and Ace dies. Not captured, not kidnapped, just gone. And we didn't just watch Luffy break, we broke too, because everything had pointed to a save. Everything had felt like it was going to be okay, until it wasn't. And Luffy, who gave everything to save him, is left holding his brother's body. And in that moment, the entire tone of One Piece changed, because this wasn't just a loss, it was a collapse. Luffy doesn't rage, he breaks, his mind shuts down and his heart just stops for a moment. And that silence after Ace's death, it lasts. It leads to the time skip to a new training arc, to a version of Luffy who understands deeply and painfully that strength alone isn't enough to protect the ones you love. The mission to rescue Ace failed, and that failure reshaped everything that came after it. Most shonen arcs that we know reward effort. You fight hard enough, you win. You believe in your friends and you save them. That's the formula and it works. It's comforting. But Naruto and One Piece broke that pattern, and in doing so they gave us something that hits even harder than triumph. 2 rescue arcs, 2 heroes who gave everything, and 2 heroes that failed. In Naruto, the failure was quiet, personal, and intimate. Sasuke wasn't taken by force, he walks away, and Naruto just wasn't enough to reach him. The pain doesn't come from defeat, it comes from being helpless, from wanting to save someone who doesn't want to be saved. In One Piece, the failure is loud, cataclysmic, and public. Luffy fights an entire world to reach Ace, and he does. But fate doesn't care. 1 second of hesitation, 1 fatal blow, and it's all over. The pain here comes from being too late, from thinking that you've made it only to watch it fall apart right in front of you. But here's the thing, both failures mattered. They weren't dead ends, they were turning points. Naruto's loss fuels everything that follows, his growth, his purpose, and his promise. Luffy's collapse strips him down to the core and forces him to rebuild stronger, not just in body but in spirit. These arcs didn't give us the happy endings that we wanted, but they gave the characters and us something real, which is grief, growth, and perspective. Because sometimes you can fight with your whole heart and still lose. And because in stories where everything goes right, it's the failures we remember the most. And that wraps up this video. I genuinely want to thank everyone who's been supporting this channel so far, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. My aim is to post weekly content, so I hope to see you all next week.